And if you're a woman watching this, I just want you to know you're loved, you're appreciated, you're adored, and we respect you. And you know, from me to you, thank you. Hi neighbors, my name is Temi if you're new here, and if you're a returning subscriber, friend, or family member. Hi neighbor, today I'm going to be highlighting influential women throughout history and how their fashion sense has changed throughout the decades and throughout time. If you like videos like this that combine fashion and history together, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so YouTube knows to push out these type of videos to more people that like something similar, and so I know that I'm doing a good job. And obviously we know it's International Women's Month, or just Women's Month in general, so just highlighting women in fashion is just something that I decided to do, just because women don't get the credit for what they do and how much they create trends. And if you're a woman watching this, I just want you to know you're loved, you're appreciated, you're adored, and we respect you. And you know, from me to you, thank you. So I'm gonna start from older decades and move towards like the decade that we're in. And if you don't know, a decade is a period of 10 years. So I'm gonna start with the 1970s. So it's from 1970 to technically 1979, really not 1980, but you get what I'm saying, it's technically 10 years. But the first decade that I'm talking about is the 1970s. And in the 1970s, fashion really entailed with disco era. So it was bell bottoms, wide lapels, boot cuts. Women wore a lot of boot cuts, they wore a lot of jumpsuits, they wore sportswear started to actually become a thing. Maxi skirts was also something very popular, and obviously we know it was hippie style. Women also highlighted a lot of blowouts in this same era. The woman I decided to highlight that was a fashion icon in the 1970s is none other than Farrah Fawcett herself. Farrah Fawcett is the it girl when it comes to that blowout look with the hippie style with the jumpsuits. Farrah Fawcett really channeled in that specific look. Obviously she's more known for her hair. A lot of women copied her hairstyle. Even to this day, women still like that blowout 90s, 70s Farrah Fawcett hairstyle. It's, if you type in Farrah Fawcett hair, you already know, you know. So I wanted to highlight her in the 1970s because she set the trend for that bell-bottom look. You know, she really channeled in that bell-bottom look, that blowout hair, the really nice hippie style, the disco era in the 1970s. The next era that I want to talk about is the 1980s. You see how I'm going down? Yes, the 1980s, this era right here. Honestly, I love this era. You know, I wasn't born then, but this era, chef's kiss. A lot of people know this era. You may not know it's the 1980s, but you know this era. It's the leotard with the tights and the leg warmers and the yoga, fitness. Fitness became a big thing, especially I think fitness really just became popularized and it televised. That's really what it was. Women wore big hair with mousse and gel to the core, afro down. Women wore a lot of bright colors. They wore a lot of textures, a lot of prints at this time. Women also wore a lot of power suits and they accessorized heavily during this period. Leotard and tights was something that women actually wore outside. I think it was really like the idea of the casual look started to become a thing. And the woman I decided to highlight for this specific era, y'all not gonna believe who I decided to say. The princess of princesses, the princess of our heart, Princess Diana. Princess Diana was a fashion icon till this day. Princess Diana knew how to put a piece together. She really channeled in the prints. She really had a good way of balancing her casual looks with the tights. Remember how I said tights? It was really more biker shorts. She wore biker shorts and she would wear the leg warmers with sneakers on her errand day, chill day. On the day she did official assignments with the king and the prince, she would set the tone high. I mean, prints, color, textures, patterns. She set it up. And Diana, not only with the hair, but she also channeled the people. Like, she was not just beautiful with her fashion, she was also beautiful on the inside. And we love a good Princess Diana. If you love Princess Diana, give this video a thumbs up. Comment Princess Diana for the people, so I know you watched this video and I know you love Princess Diana just as much as I love Princess Diana. Princess Diana ate the 1980s up. she served the 1980s to the T. And next we have the 1990s, which would be the supermodel era, where the original big five supermodels really set the tone for fashion trends. Original big five were Naomi Campbell, Cindy Crawford, Claudia Schiffer, Christy Turlington, and of course Linda Evangelista. All five of these models really set the tone in terms of what trickled down to our everyday life back in the 1990s. Women really started to channel in that casual look. Obviously, we talked about sports becoming very popular, well, fitness becoming very popular in the 1980s, and in the 1990s women started to dress a lot more casual and just channeling the casual looks. And of course, you know, the glam was still glam. We admit the glam was glam, but casual basic looks started to come out in the 1990s. High-waisted jeans with belts, obviously plaid mini skirts, chokers, ripped jeans just became extremely popular in the 1990s. As well as the supermodels' influence in fashion trends, music and the film industry also influenced the fashion trends heavily. That's how the plaid mini skirts became a thing, because of Clueless, the high-waisted jeans, with a lot of women on the TV shows would wear the high-waisted jeans with the belt. Women started to wear that on their day-to-day. TV shows and music videos obviously trickle down to what a lot of women wore in our day-to-day. And obviously, with it being called the supermodel era, the women I decided to highlight for this specific era were just the big five supermodels. All five of them, they influenced fashion a lot heavily in the 1990s. Okay, we're getting warmer, and now we are in the 2000s. This era here, a lot of us lived through this era, and this era would be hip-hop heavy influence. Hip-hop influences era a lot. Obviously, in the 1990s we talked about music and film influencing a lot of the fashion trends, but in the 2000s hip-hop influenced the whole era of fashion. Y2K, hip-hop, streetwear influenced this fashion, and women tend to wear a lot of, you know, it's jeans. Different variety of jeans, different variation of jeans, especially the baggier jeans. This era I will call the rise of fast fashion. With the 2000 and media becoming bigger, fast fashion became more accessible. Department stores like Macy's, JCPenney, Sears, Claire's, a lot of these stores became more accessible for women. Sneakers became very popular. I remember sneakers was a thing. People used to queue in line for sneakers back in the day. Like the G-Nikes, Air Forces, a thing. Women wore tracksuits more. They wore a lot of belts, especially low-rise jeans with belts. Women wore belts. Even if the outfit didn't need a belt, they wore a belt. They layered belts. And I'm like, why you got a belt on? What is it holding up? But you know, I didn't even ask questions. They wore a lot of belts there. The makeup was, I wouldn't say completely minimal, but with a little bit of pizzazz. But it was more, I don't even know how to explain the makeup. Thin brows, eyeshadow all the way up to the brows. That's what I would call it. It was minimal with a little bit of pizzazz, because the brows was thin, but the shadows hit the brows. The lipstick would be layered. There was a clear definition between the middle of your lip and the outside of your lip. And I'm speaking for black people. I don't know about other races, but I can only speak for my race. The woman I decided to highlight as a fashion icon this era would be none other than the original it girl, Paris Hilton. Pause. A lot of people might disagree and say Paris Hilton is not an it girl, but babes, she was. She had every girl in Juicy Couture tracksuits. I wanted a Juicy Couture tracksuit, and I couldn't even afford a Juicy Couture tracksuit. My parents was not buying me no Juicy Couture tracksuit, but she had every girl in that Juicy Couture tracksuit. She had the Speedy down on lock. Paris Hilton knew how to dress. I mean, she had the mini skirts. Every trend that was popular, Paris Hilton was it. Till this day, she's still a fashion icon. You know, arguably, people may speak about other people, but I believe Paris Hilton was a fashion icon in the early 2000s. If you disagree, or if you think somebody else was a fashion icon, please comment down below who you think was a fashion icon. And obviously, people may not agree with the Paris comment, but so please comment down below who you think was the fashion icon of the early 2000s. Okay, and we have the 2010s. This era is what I like to call return of maximalism. This era here, well, technically we're not in the 2010s anymore, but this specific era and decade was also really influenced with sustainability. Obviously, because of the rise of social media and fashion bloggers and influencers really thriving in creating the trends, people were more aware and self-cautious about what fast fashion and what fashion did in terms of sustainability for the earth. What the fashion trends in this era was a lot of skinny jeans with high heels. Women love skinny jeans with high heels, especially the Christian Louboutins daffodils. I mean, she was triple platinum in everybody's household. Everybody had a variation of those Louboutins. Steve Madden had a pair, Jeffrey Campbell had a pair. Those were shoes that sold in everybody's boutique. Skinny jeans with high heels, bandage dress, wedge sneakers. Why was that even a thing? But wedge sneakers ate everywhere. Crop tops, she ate too. Statement necklaces. Obviously, we talked about how previous decades necklaces and layering and accessories was heavy, but this specific era was just statement necklaces. Women would wear like big necklaces on their shirts. Chef's kiss. Can we go back to that? Just do it big. Women wore a lot of bomber jackets. Bomber jackets was a thing, but I think that really worked more in men trends. But I know a lot of women wore the bomber jackets. The green bomber jacket with the orange inside. You know what I'm talking about. You had a pair. I'm sure you did. I had a pair. I had one from H&M actually. Obviously, and platform heels. Platform heels was something, it really corresponds with the Christian Louboutins, but platform heels was very, 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 very popular at this time. And corresponding with the bandage dresses, women tend to wear peplum a lot with the bandage dresses, or just peplum as a shirt and then with skirts under. The woman I decided to highlight in this era is not arguably than Rihanna herself. She set the tone for that. Skinny jeans and heels, Rihanna set that tone. The pop of color, Rihanna did that. Rihanna really showed women you can be classy, you can be fly however you choose to, and just being yourself. Obviously, some people may also argue that the Kardashians also influenced. I would say that they were just influencers who ran the fashion trends, but Rihanna was a fashion icon at that time. Everyone arguably knows Rihanna set the tone, with especially with the dressing, with the colorful hair. She really let her hair do a lot of talking. She had a bob era, a short pixie cut era, she had a red hair era. She had so many eras when she had just the regular straight hair, curly hair. Every era, her style changed with that era. Even with that year, 2013 Rihanna was totally different from 2015 Rihanna, and she channeled in a lot of the beauty trends and a lot of the fashion trends that still resides today, because she started it. Every girl wore skinny jeans and heels because Rihanna wore skinny jeans and heels. Rihanna wore a heel everywhere she went. She was wearing heels. I'm like, damn, Rihanna killed it. And that is who I believe was the fashion icon of the 2010s. Okay, and those are the women I believe are fashion icons for each of their decade. If you have a different woman that you decided to highlight, please let me know in the comments. I would love to do different parts. I really want to go in depth for each decade, talking about the fashion in that specific decade. So if you would like me to go in depth for each year, I'll probably do it as a series. Please let me know in the comments. I would love to highlight that. Just a special thank you to you guys again for just supporting me and continuing to show me love and continue to support me. Don't forget, neighbors, to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know your suggestions in the comments. I love to hear feedback. Constructive criticism is also accepted, always accepted actually. So don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok and all my other social platforms. I love you guys, neighbors. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Of course, happy International Women's Month. Because we're highlighting women this month does not mean that every other month women shouldn't be highlighted.